This is Optimal Living Daily, episode 706, How to Become a Bulletproof Public Speaker by Mary Jaksch of GoLifeZen.com, and I'm Justin Malik, your very own personal narrator. Welcome to Optimal Living Daily, or OLD for short, old for shorter, where I narrate the best blogs I can get permission from to help you optimize your life. I have one on public speaking, something I've always struggled with, but before we get to it, thank you to Talkspace for sponsoring this episode. Talkspace is an online therapy company that makes therapy affordable, confidential, and convenient. They let you choose from over 1,500 licensed therapists. For a special offer just for you, come by Talkspace.com/old. That's Talkspace.com/OLD. So let's get right to it as we optimize your life. How to Become a Bulletproof Public Speaker by Mary Jaksch of GoLifeZen.com. Speaking in public. It's a scary idea, right? My point today is that everyone has the potential to become a bulletproof speaker if you choose a particular mindset. More about that later. First, let me tell you about my experience with public speaking. A couple of years ago, I decided to work on my public speaking, so I joined Toastmasters. Toastmasters is a great training environment, and in these 2 years, my confidence has increased exponentially. I began to wonder, what makes you a bulletproof speaker? Let's first think about what bulletproof might mean. I first thought of a flak jacket. As you know, a flak jacket protects you against bullets. It makes you bulletproof. Bulletproof, according to an online dictionary, means safe from failure. Sounds good, doesn't it? When I researched the word further, I found that one of the synonyms of the word bulletproof is impervious, which means untouched by or invulnerable to. In terms of a flak jacket, it makes us invulnerable to bullets. But what if we want to become a bulletproof speaker? Do we have to become impervious? For many people, dipping their toe into public speaking, trying to be impervious seems a safe option. They stand well back, use the lectern as a shield, try not to look at the audience, and try to disconnect themselves from their own feelings and fears. However, if we are impervious, we cut ourselves off from the audience, and no inspiration or encouragement can pass from the audience to us as speakers. So becoming bulletproof, as in becoming impervious, is not the answer, right? As I said before, being bulletproof can mean being safe from failure. That sounds comforting, but is it helpful? Wobbling, falling, pulling yourself back up. Let's leave public speaking aside and consider toddlers. When I was recently in Germany, I spent a lot of time with my niece and her family. Luke, the youngest, who has just turned 1, is learning to walk. He pulls himself up, wobbles about, takes a step, and then plops down onto his bottom. And then he does it again and again. Little Luke isn't trying to be safe from failure. He just wants to learn how to walk no matter how often he falls down. This is the mindset we need to adopt if we want to become truly bulletproof speakers. Do you have a growth mindset or a fixed mindset? If you have a growth mindset, you see yourself as a work in progress, whereas if you have a fixed mindset, you believe that your capacities are fixed. With a growth mindset, you can see so-called failures as opportunities to learn and grow, like a toddler does. A fixed mindset, on the other hand, prevents us from developing. A few years ago, a friend of mine pointed out that I tended to call myself a technical moron, especially when faced with technical problems on the net. She said, "Why don't you stop saying that and see what happens?" After a while, I noticed I'm actually good at learning how to use new software, and this ability has now turned into one of the strengths of my online work. I turned my fixed mindset into a growth mindset. It's the same with learning to speak in public. When you see yourself as a work in progress and embrace your limitless potential, you are on the path to becoming a bulletproof speaker. But what makes us bulletproof as a speaker? I'll say more about that in a moment, but first, let's take a look at the practical applications of having a growth mindset. There are 3 main ways to support your growth mindset as a budding public speaker. Number 1, set approach goals. You see, there are 2 different kinds of goals, avoidance goals and approach goals. Avoidance goals are things like, I want to avoid using notes, or I want to stop feeling anxious while I'm talking. Approach goals, on the other hand, are things like, I want to communicate my 3 points clearly, or I want to enjoy speaking. As you can imagine, approach goals are more useful than avoidance goals, and they are in line with a growth mindset. Number 2, back yourself. This means having the courage to stand tall and not diminish yourself. Often a speaker will start with a kind of apology. They try to diminish what they are going to say or somehow apologize for being who they are. Well, there's a simple remedy. Stand tall. Use good posture. Number 3, be open to the present moment. If you close up, if you become impervious, you lose connection to the audience. You also lose connection to yourself. So the question is, what makes us feel more open? I have a simple answer. What makes us feel more open is to smile. Here's an experiment for you. For a moment, close your eyes and imagine being closed off from everyone. You are in your own little bubble. Notice what that feels like. Okay, now open your eyes and smile. Do you notice a difference? So what's the first thing you can do to open yourself up before starting a speech? Look at the audience and smile. So what does it mean to become a bulletproof speaker? If you wear an invisible flak jacket, you become impervious. You can protect yourself, you can defend yourself, but you cut yourself off from others and from yourself. What if you didn't have anything to defend? What if you were a work in progress and were open to growing and stumbling and learning one step at a time? What if you were open to the present moment, open to your connection with the audience and their connection with you? You wouldn't feel alone, right? You wouldn't have anything or anyone to defend. That would make you truly bulletproof. So if you want to become a bulletproof speaker, throw away your flak jacket and grow. You just listened to the post titled, How to Become a Bulletproof Public Speaker by Mary Jaksch of GoLifeZen.com. You can take it up a notch by having a therapist help you with this kind of stuff, and Talkspace is a great company to try if you don't want to deal with actually going to an office or waiting in a lobby and all the awkwardness that comes with seeing a therapist. Talkspace makes it easy to connect with an experienced, licensed therapist. They have over 1,500 of them who you can pick based on your preferences and for a fraction of the price of traditional therapy. You can send your therapist text, audio, or video messages, or do a live video chat. It's up to you, which I love. Talkspace therapists are fully licensed and go through a rigorous screening process in addition to thousands of hours of supervised professional training. So to match with your perfect therapist, come on over to Talkspace.com/old. As a special offer just for you, you can use the code OLD to get $30 off your first month, all while showing support for this podcast. That's the code OLD, and the link is Talkspace.com/OLD. Talkspace, therapy for how we live today. And that will do it for today. I hope you're having a great one, and I'll see you tomorrow with a post from Courtney Carver, where your optimal life awaits.
Hey, this is Dan from the Optimal Finance Daily podcast, which is a lot like this show, except more focused on personal finance. Justin handpicks the best posts he can find from blogs and authors like Ramit Sethi, Mr. Money Mustache, and more, and I read them to you 5 days a week. So if you enjoy this podcast, come on over and subscribe to Optimal Finance Daily too. And together, we'll optimize your financial life.
You've been listening to Optimal Living Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode, and head to oldpodcast.com. That's OLDpodcast.com for a free gift, as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.